So welcome everybody to Living in Charlottesville. Today we're going to actually talk and chat about one of the best suburban areas to live in for Charlottesville, Virginia. Now this one I'm a little partial to. It's called Carsbrook, and Carsbrook has been around for some time. It's actually the neighborhood I originally moved to many years ago. So we're going to take a tour, and I'm going to show you why Carsbrook is one of the best suburban areas in Charlottesville. Hey y'all, it's Pam with Living in Charlottesville. I have my Starbucks and I'm going to take you on a top tour of a fabulous suburb of Charlottesville, Virginia. So Carsbrook is one of my top picks because it flows into so many other great, often requested neighborhoods and suburbs that people are often asking and wanting to know about. So if this is your first time to the station, thank you. Please subscribe so you don't miss anything that I'm putting out, and ring the bell so you're notified. I would really appreciate it. Also, if I can help you any way possible to be living in Charlottesville, send me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call, and I look forward to helping you. So the big reason that I think it's one of the most sought after locations, suburban areas of Charlottesville, is actually because of its location. It's located right off of 29 North, officially Seminole Lane. 29 North becomes Seminole Lane somewhere, I don't know where. And it's just really super convenient. It definitely falls into one of those. It's 15 minutes to the airport, 15 minutes to the university, 15 minutes to downtown. A couple of the reasons that people love it so much beyond the location is actually because of the established beauty. As you can see, it's very mature growth, and a lot of these houses are on very large lots. What is a large lot? Well, in this case, you're probably looking at some of the newer homes Carsbrook officially, you're probably not going to find anything under 1/4 of an acre. You can actually find houses that go upwards and over an acre. So I'm going to get away from Seminole Trail and we're going to take a tour. All right, so this is Carsbrook. Now Carsbrook is actually one of the older and more established neighborhoods in suburban area for Charlottesville. It is right outside the county, and it has a really nice variety of homes and no HOA. It's absolutely gorgeous through here. You have a wide variety of types of homes. You have everything from colonials to ramblers to split levels and everything between. Most of these houses are actually built in the 60s. So welcome to Carsbrook. Now I just wanted to show you some of the homes. These are actually some of the newer homes, and they are about, goodness gracious, 30 years old. Now one of the reasons that I so love Carsbrook is not only the location, but I grew up here, and quite honestly I just have a love for it. It's mature landscaping, phenomenal neighborhoods. Most of them have voluntary HOAs, but some of the newer sections, newer neighborhoods do have HOAs. It just depends on where you are. Now one thing I will say, as you can see with the mature landscaping, is I still have PTSD from raking leaves, because that was, growing up, one of my jobs to actually do. And as you can see with this mature landscaping, you have a lot of leaves. So this is one of the streets off of Carsbrook. So it's located right off of 29 and Seminole Trail, and it's also butted up against the Rivanna River in several locations. Most of this has a voluntary HOA, and there are very large lots, mostly built in the early 60s, with a sprinkle of newer homes, including one that is currently under construction and for sale for over $900,000. Beautiful area, mature lots, great variety of houses in sizes and in makeup and everything else. Most are on public water. There may be, the original house is actually built in 1785. It may be on a well, but I don't even think so. I think all the houses are actually on public water, but about 50-50 if they are on public sewer or if they are on septic tanks. And having a septic tank is really, really common. Okay, so we've seen Carsbrook and you've seen Carsbrook Drive. Because Carsbrook Drive goes through multiple neighborhoods, I sort of lump them all together, and that's why I think it's such a great suburb of Charlottesville. Because no matter if you want pastoral views, if you want mountain views, if you want residential views, whatever it is, you're going to find it in one of these neighborhoods. Also, if you want existing resale home from the 60s, or if you want something newer from the 70s, the 80s, or as you saw, even brand new finishing up in 2023, all of those are options. Okay, so that's one of the first neighborhoods that is off of Carsbrook is actually Westmoreland Drive. And Westmoreland Drive actually leads to Westmoreland neighborhood. Westmoreland neighborhood is a non-HOA neighborhood as well. It's only got a few streets and many are circle around. Most of the houses are going to be built in the 60s to about the mid 80s. So we're going to just take a quick drive through here. Lots of brick, but notice one thing you're starting to see: sidewalks. Remember, Carsbrook doesn't have sidewalks, but Westmoreland, being a quote-unquote newer neighborhood, actually does have sidewalks on the main thoroughfare, which is Westmoreland Drive. Now, Westmoreland Drive used to end right here at Berwick Court. Berwick was the end. It was the end of the rainbow. But now, in the past 30 years, it has since been built out, and if you continue on, you actually go on to Old Brook Road. So, again, Westmoreland neighborhood, you're on Westmoreland, and you continue straight, it turns into Old Brook. Another one of the fabulous quirks of this area. Once you go past that, you're going to go into a couple other really great subdivisions, suburban areas that are going to be Fieldbrook, Raintree. So I'm continuing to drive through to give you an overview. But again, like I said, this is Westmoreland. Really sweet little area, non-HOA. Most of these are going to also be on public water. Well, these are going to be on public water. And also these are going to be, I think, 100% on public sewer. I don't believe, now I may be wrong, and if I find out I will happily share that with you. But from the houses I've sold in Westmoreland, they are on public water. They are not on a septic tank. So we're back at Carsbrook Drive. Okay, been to Carsbrook Drive, right? Now we're actually going to go on to Carsbrook Drive and the next neighborhood. And this is going to be really one of the newest, the second newest, is actually called Still Meadows. Still Meadows, so what I'm actually showing you first, That's the original farmhouse. It was built in 1903, and that is who used to have the entire farm here, and this was an active working farm. It started being developed in the late 90s and finished up in the early 2000s, like I think 2005 or 6, maybe the last home built here. But it's 135 homes, began being built in 99 and finished up in early 2000s. The square footage size for the homes, I'm going to drive through here. These are getting to be smaller lots and larger homes. So the lots are about a 0.15. I'm sure the largest lot in here is probably just shy of 0.20. Very nice. Does have sidewalks on one side. This is a HOA community, and the HOA in here does actually incorporate some amenities, but the HOA is about $1,000 a year. It's like $260 a quarter. So that obviously takes care of sidewalks. That takes care of, I believe it also includes your tennis membership. They have a clubhouse. So this is the swim and tennis club for Still Meadows. There's a clubhouse, and there's a seasonal swimming pool. Most of our seasonal pools will open up Memorial Day and close Labor Day. So obviously it is all shut down and tucked away for the winter. When I spin around here, you can see there's some play structures. Basketball hoops have been installed. And also there's tennis courts that are behind the swimming pool. And I believe all of this is included in your HOA for Still Meadows. All right, so what I did is I actually pulled into the Still Meadow community area. This is going to be your pool, your seasonal pool, and also your tennis. But you'll notice they have a sweet little play area here, and then also tennis courts and everything. You can see these are some backed up to some of the houses. So fairly large houses with individuality, meaning you can have fences, you can have all of that. This is the pool, and the pool is seasonal. It does have a little baby pool. This is a part of the sidewalks, so part of the trail system. This goes throughout the community. All right, so this part of the trail leads us to the tennis courts. So again, got your little clubhouse, tennis courts, and then your trail system that goes throughout. There's some more courts back there. I don't know if you can see them or not. And then some of the backs of the houses. So that's Still Meadows. Still Meadows, really sweet neighborhood. Very family oriented. You see a lot of community leaders in here, doctors, professors, teachers, actually. But you definitely see more, it sides more on larger homes, so larger people populating them, so larger families. You do have some smaller bungalow style homes, and you'll find a lot of retirees in those. So we're going to head out and go on to the next section. So one thing I did want to mention, down there, I don't know how well you can see it, is actually the access for the Still Meadows floodplain. The Still Meadows floodplain obviously borders up, as does some of the rest of Still Meadows, against the Rivanna River, and it is open and it's open and accessible. Traditionally, they mow a path on the outer circle so that you can use it for walking your dogs, going for a jog, whatever it may be. So anyways, we are going to head out of Still Meadows and we will go back to Carsbrook. So here we go. So Still Meadows, one of the things that I hear from my clients, and actually that attracts them so much when I've sold homes here, is they talk about the community. There's just this real connection. Kids in the neighborhood do the dog sitting. Young teens and teens do babysitting, do pet sitting, and all of that. The Halloween here is off the chart. Many of the parents will actually do Halloween trick-or-treating for the kids and for the adults, and I'll leave that to your imagination. Here's some more of the cute houses. Again, these are fairly large houses, but fairly small, but smaller lots. And again, you do have sidewalks on one side of the street throughout. Where we're coming, some of these houses can be up to 6 bedrooms. So, and you can slightly see the floodplain behind there now that the leaf falls. Another thing about this area, they actually do have black bears. So you do need to take care and pay attention to your bird feeders and your trash receptacles. Gotta spin around. Now, one thing I will also share is along the back side of Still Meadows is actually a railroad track. And it's not like a heavily traveled railroad, but it does service for Amtrak and some others. So you do hear whistles and you do hear the train, especially now that the leaf fall is happening. I'm going to spin this around again so you can see. You have a real nice variety. You have everything from young families to retirees. You see a lot of the professors. And right back there would be the railroad track. Okay, so I'm going to stop here a second. We are back onto Carsbrook Drive, so we're back into the original footprint of what I consider one of the best suburban areas for Charlottesville. Where we're going next is going to be our second to final, and that is going to be at the end of Carsbrook Drive is actually going to be Northfields. And Northfields really only has offhand maybe a half a dozen streets. Again, you're falling into the older footprint of the neighborhood, so you are not going to have things such as sidewalks. So this is still Carsbrook. But then we are getting into people are going to be calling on power. This gets into Northfields. This is Northfields. So Northfields. Oh look. as you can see, all right, so this is into Northfields. So Northfields has, like I said, only a few streets. Most go all the way out to Rio Road. Most of these, again, are going to be on the newer side, as in they were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, with a sprinkle of some newer than that. So some houses that were built in 90s, 2000s, in the one-off kind of things. But you can see wide variety, good sized lots, not as large as the Carsbrook, but definitely good size. There is a train track that runs along this back area. So if you love trains, which I actually had a client, he that was his wish, because he had worked with the railroads his entire life and he wanted to be right with a train. So we found him a fabulous house that had been renovated over here in Northfields. There are 2 entrances in and out. Actually, there's 3 officially for this area of Northfields. Most of the lots here will be, I would say, 1/4 to a half an acre. So yeah, they're decent size, but not as large as Carsbrook and Westmoreland, if you ask me. From here, it's actually going to be very easy access into our final one. One really cool thing is the original house. So we're coming up on one of the houses that actually just got built last year. So you can see you have very traditional brick, and then you have brand new construction next to it. So from here, we're actually going into our last one. So this is going to be Belvedere. Belvedere is actually right off of Carsbrook and Northfields, and I'm going to put you back up here through Free State Road. If you were to go straight, you would go to Rio Road, but you turn on Free State Road. And actually, this is a bridge overpass, and this shows you that's the actual train track, and this is the bridge overpass for that going into Belvedere. Belvedere has, okay, so it started with Free State Road, which is an original road, and it also, you have access to Fairview Swim and Tennis Club. Belvedere is under the concept, you notice you will have a HOA here, very, very active HOA. You have sidewalks and you have amenities. You do not have a swimming pool because you have the option to join Fairview Swim and Tennis. But there's a ton of green spaces, but these lots are very, very small. I think the largest lots is really about a 0.15 of an acre. But beautiful homes. These are carriage-based homes, meaning the driveway is accessible off an alley, and your garage is detached from the house traditionally. Now that's not always the case, but as you can see, there's a lot of green space and the houses are stunning. So this is all newer construction. Here's the other thing you have. You have, this also houses the SACA organization. What is SACA? This is actually our soccer organization of Charlottesville, Albemarle. SACA, S-O-C-A. So that's actually an indoor-outdoor practice field. Here's some of the green spaces for Belvedere residents. They have a fire pit. They have, here's some of the housing. This actually starts getting into including townhouses. We have carriage houses, single family homes. I think some of these houses are absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Some of the green space. And this is another reason. You can see the mountain views are beautiful. So, just going down the road, here we go. All right, so there you go. We are wrapping up and driving out of Belvedere. You can sort of see what I was talking about with the alleyways, with the driveway and parking, and a secondary section. And then here you're actually seeing the cottage homes, the carriage homes, which are connected. All right, so here we are in Belvedere. Belvedere is a really sweet, I'm going to spin around so you can actually see. This is one of the many open green spaces that is available. This one has a park, and then it has plenty of room, kicking a ball or whatever, walking your dog. The houses are a good mix. This is all going to be new construction. What you see over on that side is actually going to, and you may actually hear some of the construction going on. It is still being built over there. Some of the single family homes in the new section are running on either side of $1 million. There are many townhome options. Those are starting at about $500,000. And then you also have carriage homes, which you'll find a lot of folks who just want to be able to have easy single level living, but not wanting to give up your space as far as having a basement or having extra room above for people to come and visit. Now the other cool thing is, one of their amenities is they do include a dog park, which we will be driving by. And also you have access, this is one of the neighborhood that then goes into Dunlora neighborhood. So again, one of the biggest reason I call this Carsbrook area one of the best suburban secrets of Charlottesville, Virginia, because no matter what it is you want, if you want new construction, if you want single level living, if you want multifamily living, quite honestly, because I know a lot of the Carsbrook houses have a couple of generations living in the same houses because they're huge, they're very large. We do have a lot of basements here, and the other thing would be crawl spaces would come in second, but we have a lot of basements. So some of these houses can be extremely large, and now I'm rambling. So the other amenities, you've got the dog park, the green spaces, sidewalks. So it's very well traveled and very safe. Is actually fiber internet is included in your HOA fees. So that's a bill you don't have to deal with. The same with I believe the trash is also included. All of these homes are going to be on public water and public sewer. Because they're new construction, you're not going to find septic tanks in this area. This area is still being built out, and they have, I think, another 2 phases to go. So if you want new construction and you want a decent builder, some of these houses actually have been built by quantity builders, and like I've mentioned before, we have quality and we have quantity builders. Right now there's some great quality builders in here and finishing up the Belvedere neighborhood. So I would encourage you to check out this fabulous suburb of Charlottesville, Carsbrook. We went into Westmoreland, we went into Still Meadows, we went into Northfields, and now we're in Belvedere. So no matter what your taste, we can get you covered living in Charlottesville. So there you go. Here you go. Here's a great view. This is the sort of the end of Belvedere at the moment. Belvedere will be extending down that way. So there you see some carriage homes on the right. You have your townhomes on the left. Some more townhomes on your left this way, and carriage homes on your right. That beautiful Blue Ridge view, and that is actually currently where the new construction is going in. And then the other really cool thing about Belvedere is actually it's part of the Rivanna Trail. The Rivanna Trail is a cleared path that actually encircles Charlottesville. Each section is noted in a graph or in a pamphlet, I guess a map, and you can follow it and do small sections at a time, whether you are walking a dog, whether you're just going for a hike, or want to do a nice walk. And each section of the Rivanna Trail is also they actually give it a rating and say, oh, it's easy, it's a moderate, it's hard, so you don't go out thinking, oh, it's a walk in the park and you end up being stuck outside. But this is it. This is the end of the Carsbrook Suburban Tour for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's something that I can help you with, I want you to give me a call, shoot me a text, give me an email, and let's see what I can do to get you living in Charlottesville.